Welcome to Community Television. I'm Gretchen Gortlica, your host of our weekly exploration of ideas and philosophy. Our special guest tonight is Professor Lefty Gelbhand, the author of a very provocative paper entitled Free Will, Myth or Reality. Professor, welcome to our show. Oh, my goodness. Professor, I didn't do my homework. Are you nonverbal? Oh, look at my notes. Yeah. 1 beep means yes. 2 beeps mean no. And 3 beeps, I don't know. All right, let's get started. Free will, myth or illusion? Let's get started. Can we say with a working theory that humans, free will means the theory that humans, and I'm including clowns in that category, Professor, can and do choose our actions or inactions? Well, here's an example of inaction right in front of us. Professor, you have a mouth. Are you choosing not to use it? Or does that mouth not even open? Ew! Did you lick me? Well, I guess I did invade his personal space. I guess I'm lucky he didn't bite me. Ow! Oh, Professor, please. Well, that's a good example, isn't it, of free will. I chose to put my hand in his face. He chose to lick and then bite these fingers. You don't agree? You do agree? I'm a little confused. Were you compelled to bite my fingers? Were you somehow forced to bite my finger? Were you kind of following a script, perhaps? Well, then the question is, why was the professor compelled to bite and lick these fingers? Were there forces perhaps internal or external in effect? And what about instinct? We must ask ourselves the larger question, do all clowns bite? Or is the professor perhaps one of a breed of clowns, especially developed to attack television community announcers? Or we must not forget the possibility, however remote, that this unfortunate subject has been the victim of behavior conditioning. Professor Gelbhand, were you ever involved, voluntarily or otherwise, in an experiment involving television hosts and electric shocks? Ow! Stop that! You did that on purpose. Why? Are all clowns that sensitive? Okay, I was just demonstrating for our audience that an act that may seem voluntary is really affected or possibly even forced by conditioning or training, or breeding for that matter. It was for our audience, and speaking of and to our audience, we assume that this show is being watched voluntarily on Channel 21 every Friday night by people who turn it on purpose. But how about our studio audience? How many of them are here of their own free will? Even those of you who think that you came here of your own free will. If we had an omniscience, that we could pretend to have an omniscience that we can't really have, but if we did, couldn't we trace every step, every factor that brought you and put you in these seats, and then keeps you in these very seats and prevents you from getting out of these seats and dashing out that door down 10th Avenue? Well beeped, Professor. Who knows indeed? And come to think of it, what's keeping me in my seat? I could be home reading Game of Thrones and eating ice cream. And you could be back in that box. Stop it, Professor. This is Gretchen Gortlica signing off, and thank you and good night.